250 years ago, America was founded on the promise of something extraordinary, an ongoing experiment shaped by people, place, and the belief that we could build something better together. Over 162 years ago, the city of Boise was founded with that same spirit, built by people who believed in community first, who came together not just to build a city, but to build a community, who came together to create something lasting, a place to call home. And that's always been our story. We're a city shaped not just by where we are, but by the people who show up, stay engaged, and continue to build it together. When you look at Boise today, you can see just how far we've come. Over the years, we've invested in the things that matter most: our parks and open space, access to the Greenbelt and foothills, public art, and projects that strengthen our neighborhoods. These are the kind of improvements that shape our everyday lives. This is a city shaped by her people, a place where quality of life isn't just a goal, but it's a part of our everyday experience, where you can get outside, connect with neighbors, support local businesses, and feel like you truly belong. That's what makes Boise, Boise. Across our city, we're making thoughtful investments in the things people care about the most. We're enhancing parks and public spaces, places designed to bring people together. We're expanding access to the outdoors and adding public art that reflects our community and invites connection. We're improving streets and pathways, making it easier and safer for people to move through their neighborhoods and across the city. And we're delivering on projects the community has been asking for, investments that reflect our shared values and our vision for the future. From West Boise to neighborhoods in the Southeast, you can see that work taking shape. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about projects, it's about connection. It's about the spaces where people come together. From Military Reserve with its archery range, bike park, dog park, and beautiful trails, to public art like Gentle Breeze and Cherie Buckner Webb Park. These are the places where community happens, where neighbors meet, families gather, and a shared sense of belonging grows stronger. That's what builds a civic culture, and that's what makes our city feel like home. As we look ahead, we're focused on what comes next, how we continue building a city that brings people together and works for everyone. A city that stays grounded in its history, reflects the voices of its community, and continues to create opportunity for generations to come. Boise has always been a place of possibility, and the question guiding us forward is simple. What's next, Boise? My hope, my North Star, is that together we're building a future that's safe, welcoming, and full of opportunity for everyone. A place where every Boisean belongs and where we continue to show up for each other.
Please welcome to the stage Managing Owner of Colliers and 2026 Boise Metro Chamber Executive Board Chair, Jim Shipman.
Thank you and good afternoon and welcome to the 2026 Mayor's State of the City Address. On behalf of the Boise Metro Chamber, thank you for joining us, as we are so grateful for our ongoing partnership with the City of Boise and the incredible support from our community. So we really appreciate you being here. Before we begin, as you know, these events don't happen on their own. We need a lot of support and a lot of groups that sponsor and take care of this. So I'd like to acknowledge some of those that make today possible. This year's State of the City Address is proudly presented by Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU, and the Laird Norton Company. Our community sponsor and a venue host is the Boise Center. And our official business technology partner, Allied Business Solutions. And I've got a list of a few more here, so hold your applause to the end of this list. We also have our supporting sponsors, Adler Industrial, Alquist, Albertsons, Gardner Group, Hardin Sanitation, Micron, St. Alphonsus, and Simplot Company. That's the first one of these events this year that the applause was held to the end, so thank you. And finally, we'd also like to extend our sincere thanks to our contributing sponsors, and their names are listed in your program. And then finally, a special thank you to CBH Homes. They will be sponsoring today's chamber reception, which will be in room 410 immediately following Mayor McLean's remarks, and it will last until about 7 p.m. And now it's truly my privilege to introduce Boise's Mayor, Lauren McLean. She's now serving in her second term as mayor, and it has been and is focused on delivering real results for the people of Boise, creating the great, vibrant city that we have that's safe, it's welcoming, and it's full of opportunity for everyone. Her time as mayor has been marked by building partnerships, especially with many of us here today in the business community, to address the community's most pressing challenges, expanding access to housing, protecting the environment, investing in parks and open space, and strengthening a resilient local economy. Mayor McLean's been a Boisean for 30 years. She first began her service to Boise back in 2001, serving on the Boise Foothill Open Space Levy, the campaign for the levy. She and her husband, Scott, they've raised their 2 children, Madeline and Aiden, here in Boise, and they've spent much of their time, summers and winters, whether backpacking, skiing, and enjoying the great Idaho outdoors. She's an avid trail runner, outdoors woman, and reader. And you know, I've been known, some people accuse me of being fairly competitive. Let me warn you, I was a part of a trivia team with Mayor McLean at the leadership conference in Sun Valley, and I cannot hold a candle to her competitiveness, and I think that serves us all well with her in charge as the mayor of Boise. Mayor McLean, if you'd come up, please.
We did, you know, I'm just gonna go off script a little bit, and our team won the Spuddy Buddy, and it is sitting in my office very proudly next to some antlers and really special family pictures. So thank you, Jim, for the introduction. It's really wonderful to be here. Hello, everybody. Thanks so much for taking your time to join me today. I wanna start first with a story. Back in March, I just finished having dinner with a group of folks in West Boise when this woman approached me. And she shared something that sticks with me to this day, and I think it always will. Her adult child, who's fully launched, he has a job back here at home, really struggled to find a place that he could afford to live, and wondered, given the dynamics of the legislature, if there was truly a place for him here. And she asked me if I cared about this as much as she did, if I still cared as much about this as she knew I did before. And I said, I do. Oh my goodness, I really do. I do because my own kids recently graduated, and I want them to be able to build their lives here. I do because Boise showed me and Scott what it looks like to live in a community, to be supported in good times and in bad. And I want to tell you today, and not just tell you, but show you what it means when government cares about your success, about your family's success as much as you do. What it looks like when government listens and delivers. And really what it's like to still believe that the best of this place is still ahead of us. But first, I have some people I want to thank. First off, Jim, for your kind introduction, really appreciate it. Also want to say thank you to you and the J.K. Albertsons Foundation for your sponsorship of America 250. So thank you so much. I also want to thank the Chamber. Bobby Joe's sitting right next to Jim. The Chamber's been a great partner to me and other businesses in the Treasure Valley, and other mayors, in the Treasure Valley. And Bobby Joe's, in particular, your forward-focused, solutions-oriented leadership was just what we need right now. You bring the right people together to advocate for this region and beyond, and I really appreciate it. The work of listening to our residents and delivering real results would not be possible without our City Council. All of you right here in front of me, Council President Stead, Council President Pro Tem Corliss, and Council members Hallie Burton, Morales, Mr. Willits for Lucy, and yeah, that's it. All right, whether we're grappling with where to add more housing, parks, libraries, how to handle those crazy turkeys in the north end, or the changes in the state laws, Your perspective matters. Your care that you show our community is deep, and I deeply appreciate the partnership we have to address the issues most important to Boiseans. Thank you for your partnership. And to our city staff. Many of you are here today, others are working hard, 1,000 thank yous. The best thing, one of the best things about being mayor is that I get to see them working, the behind the scenes work that our city staff does, helping someone fill out a form, bringing forward a money-saving idea, helping a kiddo check out their first library book or sign up for their card, mowing the grass, getting thousands of suitcases to all the right places. Your work matters to this community, and it deeply matters to me. And on a personal note, I want to thank my husband, Scott. It's his birthday today. He has to do this. Happy birthday. I'm sorry that it has to be this. We have celebrated birthdays together since we were 16. And I so appreciate and am deeply grateful for you, your love, our partnership, our family. Love you. So to each of you here today, you know that this is not my first day of the city address, and I'm nervous like I always am, and if you'd seen me yesterday, you'd understand why I'm nervous, because I really flubbed the practice. But I'm even more inspired by each and every one of you because you keep showing up. You show up to offer solutions and partnership. You share my optimism, our optimism, and conviction that we live in a really special place and that this place is worth protecting. Our work is for you, for your kids and grandkids, your neighbors and friends, and everyone that's lucky enough to call Boise home. And that work, not just what we've already accomplished together, but the work that's still to come, it matters. It matters to the single mom of 2 who just moved into Wilson Station with a rent that she can afford and a school that her kiddos can walk over to. It matters to our kids like the Green Ninjas who surprised us at the Keep Boise Cool kickoff, kids from Trailwind Elementary dedicated to protecting their environment. It matters to our local businesses, and it matters to high school students thinking about what's next and if they have a place here. I spend a lot of my time listening to our teams, to community leaders who are sharing their work and people's needs, to business leaders, to retirees, to moms and dads in the schoolyard behind my house, in coffee shops and parks, on trails and on pathways, and to the thousands of Boiseans who show up. They respond to surveys, they come to council meetings, come to town halls and events. And as Boiseans, we know what we want and we need for this city that we love. And yet session after session, our legislature's overreach takes away the tools to help deliver on housing, transportation, on the fundamental principle of local control. We know that Boise wants to stay Boise, especially as we grow. We are a community in a beautiful place that has built itself with intention together. Scotty and I came here with the blind optimism of 23-year-old newlyweds. We had big dreams to pay off our school loans, to buy a home, to start a life. So we developed this system where we'd use one of those accordion coupon holders to hold the money that we could spend every month. We found a fixer-upper. We started our family. We paid off those school loans while paying for childcare and saving for college. We built a life in a neighborhood where the kids could run down the street to a park. We went to classes in art at Fort Boise. We participated in school events. We backpacked with the kids. We dreamed bigger for them, rooted ourselves deeply in this community, and hoped that this place would give them the same sense of belonging and opportunity that it afforded us, and that we want for every child that grows up here. I understand why that mom asked me if I care as much about the city's future as she does, and this is why I can promise that I do. Look, we are in tough and challenging times. Gas and groceries are more expensive. The daily news can be alarming. Residents are tired, they're worried. And our resolve, I can assure you, to keep listening is stronger than ever. We listen, we deliver, and we dream what's next, because we must, even as the work is getting harder. And I want to be clear about that. It is getting harder. As our city grows, we need more homes at Boise budgets. jobs that can support our families and help them get ahead, parks and open space to play in, libraries to learn in, and safe ways to get from home to work. And every year, we're asked to do more to support our growing city. And we do, and I'm really proud of that. But I want to be clear. When costs rise as the city grows, the math gets harder. So like Scott and I did with that coupon organizer, the city, together with the council, we do the most that we can with what we have, making sure that every dollar goes to where it matters most. And here's how. We find efficiencies, trim where we can, ask our team to bring us their best ideas, because nobody knows better how to do more with less than the people doing the work every day. We're pursuing every grant, every external partnership, every philanthropic opportunity that gets us further than our city budget alone would allow. And these challenges, I want to be clear, are not unique to Boise. Cities across Idaho need tools to meet local needs. And I'm really proud and very honored to be working with mayors across this region, some of whom are here today, thank you, to propose solutions and advocate for local control. Because when we speak with one voice, we are harder to ignore. And when it comes to those worries that I hear from folks, the fatigue and loneliness that comes with it, from it, my answer is not a talking point, it's a practice. It's a conviction that the connections that we share make each of us and all of us stronger. And the kind of connection that I'm talking about happens through intentional cultivation, through the low-stakes interactions that we have with each other every day. And that's why, as a city, we build places where people can gather, and we invest in the everyday infrastructure of a community that is connected. We make sure that every kid can walk to a park. We put a community pool in a neighborhood. We give teens bus passes so they can move around independently. We plant trees so people linger longer to talk on shady sidewalks. And we nurture gathering spaces where friends show up and sometimes stay a little longer than planned. Like Boiseans before us, we're creating the conditions that make connection possible. Everything I talked to you about today is for this: the moments that allow us to remember that we have more in common, that we're not alone, that when we work together and connected to each other, we're part of something bigger than ourselves, and that we can do more to create opportunity and protect the city that we love together. And I also want to make it easier for us to listen. So this summer I'm launching City Hall in your neighborhood, because the best conversations I have don't all happen in downtown rooms like this, but they're face-to-face, on porches, at a park, in a community center. So we'll bring together city staff from across departments directly to neighborhoods, ready to answer questions, hear what's working, what should come next, because that's how we govern and that's how we connect. We've also asked Boise's young people directly, and over 1,000 of them told us what they need to thrive. Their short stories have shaped the Boise Youth Roadmap. It's our plan to make sure that every young person in the city has the spaces, the opportunities, and the support they need to engage and to belong. You know, just 2 weeks ago, I joined Council President Pro Tem Kathy Corliss's Youth Town Hall, and it was really inspiring. Students from across the city, from so many different schools, showed up to have a conversation with us, to share their experiences and to help shape their city's future. This is the city that we're building, and the conditions that help young people thrive are also the conditions that make a place where businesses want to invest and grow. Idaho Mountain Touring, one of Boise's originals, is doubling down right here in its downtown location. And the reason is simple. This is where their customers are and the type of be a part of. Because their employees want to be here for the energy, the connections that come from being part of a growing, active, vibrant place. More employers are bringing people back to the office, like many of you are, I'm sure. And companies like Equifax and Ericsson are helping lead the way. They're prioritizing in-person work because they see value in collaboration, culture, and connection. And that's why we continue to invest in public spaces and infrastructure, turning a strong downtown into a magnetic one. The city's Parks Department and community engagement team are activating urban spaces like Cherie Buckner Webb Park and Keisto Corner, while community events like Treefort Music Fest, led by entrepreneurs, bring people together, energize our public spaces, and support local business. At the same time, we're working to bring additional parking online, and the Downtown Boise Association continues driving efforts to make sure that our downtown is active and thriving. Businesses are investing in neighborhoods, too. At 27th and Stewart, 5 new local businesses have opened on the ground floor of that new residential building, creating spaces for people to gather, and I hear a lot of lines, too, to get in. The Wilder Hospitality Group is energizing neighborhoods and creating places that bring people together closer to home, just as they've done downtown. Our small businesses are the heartbeat of Boise. From restaurants and retail to makers and creators, growing tech companies driving innovation, they're creating jobs and shaping the character of our downtown and of our neighborhoods. So to better serve our small businesses, I've repurposed a position in my office to create the Business Engagement Advisor. Working in partnership with our planning and development team, Chelsea's already jumped in to help businesses along 8th Street as they prepare to navigate the construction that starts soon. And she'll expand her work into areas throughout Boise, working with businesses in every corner of Boise next. And this year we're celebrating 100 years of the Boise Airport. Some of you were at that fun celebration, right on the heels of their highest passenger count year ever, when more than 5 million people traveled through the Boise Airport. By the end of the year, we'll break ground on a new concourse, investing in the next 100 years of connection between Boise and the world. Boise attracts business because of our downtown's energy, the river, the foothills, our vibrant neighborhoods, and because we are a safe and welcoming city. This year, the legislature threatened our local non-discrimination ordinance, and local business leaders and local businesses showed up. They made the case that opportunity and prosperity go hand in hand with welcoming everyone. From local restaurants to breweries, to realtors and creatives, hairstylists and counselors, I want to thank all of you for advocating with us and for advocating for our community. Protecting what makes Boise welcoming matters for our economy. So does investing what will allow it to grow. So I want to thank and recognize Garrett Lofto of Simplot and Tommy Alquist of Alquist Development and the Chamber for launching Keep Idaho Moving. It's work that we need to do to discuss transportation needs, particularly here in the Treasure Valley. I look forward to partnering and advocating and the work that we'll do together. And of course, housing is the most substantial investment that we can make in our neighborhoods, because decisions about housing don't just shape a neighborhood, they determine who's welcome there and whether people who live and work there now can afford to stay there. I have said from day one that everyone who works in Boise should be able to live in Boise. So we set goals. We cultivated partnerships. We got creative and made significant investments. The result, 10,000 new homes in Boise in the last 6 years. And where we could partner for deeply affordable housing, we're meeting our goal of 1,250 homes and 250 homes for folks exiting homelessness. Not long ago, a woman who moved into the Franklin, one of these developments, shared her story. She'd been on lists for years, in limbo, doing what Boiseans quietly do so well, getting by, hoping something would turn. And when she finally got the key to her place, a place that was hers that she could afford, her shoulders dropped. She said she'd been carrying the weight of her struggle for so long, she'd forgotten what it felt like to put it down. Her affordable home is across the street from a grocery store and has bike parking, which is her main form of transportation. And for the first time in years, she feels like she's gonna be okay. That's what home should be, a place of refuge so that you and your family can thrive. And for some folks, it takes a little bit more support to stay housed. 2 years ago, I launched a first-of-its-kind partnership with the Idaho Community Foundation to create SHIF, the Supportive Housing Investment Fund. It would provide a revenue source for the wraparound services that people exiting homelessness need to stay housed and to thrive. The city invested $7.5 million and set a goal of doubling that with community partners and investment. And today, I'm so excited to say that we have hit that goal. I want to thank our Blue Ribbon Committee members. Many of you are here today who not only contributed, but brought other folks to the table. And because of you, more of our neighbors have places to settle in, feel safe, and belong. Thank you so much. The fund actually made its first grant to Terry Riley Health Services for their work at New Path 2.0. It's housing under construction for folks exiting homelessness, and we toured that a couple weeks ago. It was exciting to see the 96 homes being built, but truly inspiring and gratifying to see the very people that made it possible. Builders, service providers, banks, housing advocates, healthcare systems, and donors. There's still more to do, so we're listening, we're learning, and we're setting goals to deliver more homes for Boise in the years to come. And while our zoning code gets us out of the way so that the private market can deliver homes, shops, and services, we also need to plan for homes, new homes, close to jobs. So we're exploring what neighborhoods south and east of the airport, close to Micron, could look like. There's a lot more to learn, but the potential is significant. Well-planned neighborhoods near jobs with a mix of homes, services, access to parks, and open space. And to invest in existing neighborhoods, every year we set aside $500,000. While most neighborhood investment program awards will be announced later this summer, I'm pleased to share one today. The Bora Neighborhood Association will receive funding for a new pocket park between the Flying Y and Cole Road. With this investment, another 1,300 Boiseans will be able to walk to a park within 10 minutes, bringing us to 75% of Boiseans that can do that. And we've heard from residents how important it is to be able to access learning and books in all corners of our city. So I'm committing $2 million in seed funding for library access in West Boise. Because every child should be close to a Boise library and experience the connections and care of a Boise librarian. We want you to feel connected to those who keep us safe, too. I recently joined Chief Hummel at Fire Station 13 for an open house. The station was full. There were kids of all sizes, neighbors, young adults curious about joining the team. I loved hearing that residents and firefighters alike love moments like this, where people show up to meet their neighbors. And our fire department is leading efforts to protect our neighborhoods from wildfire. Together with Western fire chiefs, Boise Fire is creating the future of wildfire prevention. They're using AI to get ahead of how fire behaves in our environment before it starts. And to meet people where they're at and offer better care, our Boise Police Department added a third behavioral health team. That's a clinician and an officer together to support folks in crisis and keep them out of the justice system. Those 3 teams have responded to nearly 2,000 calls in the last year. That's Those 2,000 calls are 2,000 moments where the right people showed up at the right time. Boiseans care deeply about keeping our city safe, and I often hear how important it is that we travel safely from one place to another too. that folks want drivers to slow down, to stop at red lights, and for our officers to stop them when they don't. This year, traffic stops have increased 55%. That's over 17,000 additional stops this calendar year. Those stops slow people down and help save lives. And beyond policing, we're piloting a slow zone project in the North End. With 20 is plenty signs and neighborhood cooperation, we're trying something new, and it's working. So we'll bring this to neighborhoods throughout Boise next. We won $1 million to keep people safer along Fairview, where the most crashes in our city occur. And this year, we will bring quick build projects to our neighborhoods. Think painted lines, asphalt art, and low-cost temporary infrastructure that slows traffic and saves lives. I want to thank ACHD and Councilmember Halliburton for your leadership here. We'll do the first two projects on Nez Perce and the Northview U-Stick Bikeway. And speaking of walking safely, another pathway just opened, and we're cutting the ribbon soon. Made possible by CCDC, surrounding stakeholders like the Boise City Canal Company, St. Luke's, and Idaho Power, we're giving this car-free thoroughfare a name, the Grove Street Pathway. These investments create connections between home and work and helps us ensure that Boise remains a safe and welcoming city for everyone as we grow. And our city's favorite way to connect, parks and open space. Boise again made that clear in November when 82% of us voted yes to invest in more parks, pathways, and open space. And I want to thank all of you for your support. Just today, I was on the trails with my dog Moose, and again, it's such a great place to connect. You go up the trail, everybody wants to stop and say hi, or keep going and smile and say hi. And when I'm not on the trails, I ask folks their favorite trail or their favorite park, and everybody has an answer immediately. Mine's Daniels Creek. And I'm sure each of you could do the same. Now today, as I said earlier, 75% of us live within a 10-minute walk to a park, and we will not stop investing in parks until that's true for every Boisean. And a few years ago, we spent quite a bit of time talking with residents about two of our historic pools. I loved the engagement, and it mattered. We're building, in fact, I was just there this morning looking at the construction site, a pool right next to Whitney Elementary School. It'll open next summer, and over 4,300 Boiseans will be able to walk to that pool within 10 minutes. We're investing in parks throughout the city. The West Bend Boise Farmers Market will open at Spalding Ranch this summer. We'll celebrate new walking paths and a nature playground, bike trails and a basketball court at Chuck McDevitt off Eagle Road. We're building new pathways and a much-needed bathroom at Liberty Park, just across the street from 191 new affordable homes. In East Boise, with the help of a donation from the Harris family, we're greening up Alta Harris Park, something residents have been asking for years. And I want to thank the family here with us today for your donation. Thank you. And next year, we break ground on even more improvements at Molinar Park in Southwest Boise and Magnolia Park in the Optimist Youth Sports Complex in Northwest Boise. These investments matter particularly to young people. They've shared in those surveys and at town halls that they're hungry for engagement and impact, wanting opportunities to play and to connect. And yet one of the biggest things standing between them and the things they love is getting there. So every pool we build, every court we add, every free bus pass we hand to a teen is our answer to them. Boise is a safe city, and that happens with the help of intentional investments. It's trees shading streets so people walk to the park on a hot summer day. It's children knowing their neighbors and their police officers. It's the freedom to jump on a bus to get to a pool, a court, a gathering spot. It's the sound of basketballs bouncing late into the night in schoolyards on a summer evening. It's people coming together for concerts in the park, flipping pancakes with their neighbors, lending a hand where there's a need. That is the city that we're building. That's what all of this is for. Last year, I told you that Boise forged my kids. I believed it then, and I know it now. Madeline's on her way to her next chapter, building her life, finding her way exactly the way we'd want her to do it. She came home for Christmas, and she brought friends. And she didn't just sit them down and explain Boise, although they tell me she does that all the time. She showed them. She walked them through our neighborhood, to the park she played in, through downtown, into the foothills. She put them on skis. She let the city's neighborhoods and spirit speak for itself, and they're coming back this summer. Next week, we're celebrating Aiden's college graduation. And before he starts a job, I'm so glad he found a job, he's coming home. He'll spend time with his best friends from Longfellow. I could still remember the day they met. One of them's mom is here today. Visiting all the places he loves. Wandering our neighborhoods, visiting favorite trails, jumping into the river, backpacking into the Sawtooth. Still connected to this place and her people in a way that time and distance have not touched. And that is not an accident. It's what happens when we invest together year over year through hard times and uncertainty in the things that make our city worth coming home to. My teleprompter has stopped. This is unbelievable. Okay, great. Because this stuff I should know because I love it. It's like my favorite part of the speech. Oh my goodness. Okay. I said yesterday, like my practice was so bad. And I said to my friend Amy, I'm like, I'm kind of like oddly curious if something really terrible will happen to me. So here we are. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the fact that this is an accident. It's what happens when we invest year over year in those places that make our city worth coming home to. It's when you live in a place where neighbors know neighbors, where people know each other's names and can ask for a cup of sugar, where trees line our city streets, beckoning people outside to say hello, with a river wild running through it. I think about the Boiseans who 100 years ago built an airstrip by the river because they knew we needed an airport. These were like regular residents, plain old people and Boy Scouts. They picked up tools, rolled up their sleeves, and started clearing a runway in a matter of months to put the city on a map because they believed it was worth building, and so they did, together. I also think about the volunteers 25 years ago right now who are setting into motion a legacy of preserving our foothills open space forever, who looked up at our hills and looked at other cities who'd given theirs up and said, we got this. We rolled up our sleeves and got to work. But never did I dream that the Madelines and Aidens of our special city would be returning year after year, 25 years later, walking, biking, and reconnecting in those places they saved. Folks believed they were worth saving, and so they did, together. This is our Boise. It's both our story and our inheritance, and it's an obligation. Because there are kids in Boise right now, and there will be many, many more. In the West Bench, the Southeast, in neighborhoods still unbuilt, who will run trails that come next, swim in pools that we are building today, read books in new libraries, who will look back on this moment, this chapter, and know that the people in this room and beyond kept building Boise in a Boise way. They won't know us, but they'll know we kept at it, as Boiseans always have and always will, Because our story has never been about one person, it's been about a people. It's been about our community, about what happens when people who love this place decide together with deep resolve and a whole lot of joy that it's worth the work. I choose Boise, and I know you do too. And now more than ever, we must show up. We've got to invest. We have to fight for the version of this city that calls our kids home. Our story is unfinished, and I am deeply grateful for the opportunity and responsibility and true honor to keep at it together with each of you. Thank you so much.